This is a quick overview of SecretaryBird. I'm going to start up the LibreOffice application and SecretaryBird by clicking on the desktop icon. Here we go. There's a splash screen. Welcoming you. This is the competition alert you'll see each time you fire up. Notice there are 10 days or less, actually 4 days for the Barnet Open Poetry Competition 2015, which has a closing date of the 16th of November in a few days' time. Here's the main menu, and you'll see when I go along it, you'll get poems, versions, usage, reports, maintenance, support, and exit. Let's take a look at some poems first of all, and if I click on all, you see this form which introduces you to all your poems. If I spread it out a bit, here we go. Title, URL, the latest version of a poem which is called 0537. It's committed to a competition until Friday the 30th of October. This is the URL. If I click on this, we'll open the poem straight away. Its form hasn't been specified, but it's been classified as a poem about travel with a subclass about India. You'll see that it's a work in progress poem, and if I flick to the next one, you'll see there all the entries change. Here's one poem called Just Blank Them. It's in triplet form. It's committed until the 21st of August 2085, which means it's been published. And here we have published. It was published on the 21st of August 2015, published in a pamphlet called And What Do You Want? Okay, let's shut this window down and I'll take you to registering some poems. So for that we want the versions and this command here to register some, and here's the registration screen. We're going to start by selecting some poems. Here we go. We want to move up to JR's, and then let's see, we want to look at the poetry, and it's going to take a moment to load up all my poems. Here we are. I know I've just written these, so let's see if I can find them. There they are. This one and this one. I get these. You see they've appeared in the registration list. So if the title of the poem conflicts with the file name, I want to decide. So I'll let that and leave that. These poems are sonnets. So let's see if I can find sonnet. Sonnet other, and there are about the natural world, and we'll give them a subclass of philosophy. Okay, so let's submit these poems for registration. And you'll see they're done. One new poem with 2 versions, which is correct. So let's shut this form down and see if we can find the poems, which should be registered in poems, all, and they should be perhaps at the end. There they are, there's Saccade. Now there's only one poem here because this is the latest version, and you'll see it's 2. And that's where we got it from. Recognize the URL, and if I click on that, you should see, here's the poem, opened up in LibreOffice's Writer program, which is the equivalent of Microsoft Office. Notice the ODT extension. This is a writer document. And if you look carefully at the other one, if we look at the versions, let's see if we can find the versions by going here to versions, and we want poem versions. So here we are, and if I go to the end of these, all this, ZZ testing, they sorted alphabetically. So there we are, there's our two versions. Notice this one is a docx, it was written using Writer. This one is the latest version, version 2. So having seen that we've got our poems registered, let's have a look at the readings, which I can do by going here. So we're going to look at the use of poems, and this is readings. Let's see what poems I've recently read. Well, here's one I read to the Bath Poetry Cafe on the 28th of February, and there are 4 poems: At the Small Taj, Just Blank Them, Dawn Sounds, River Marigolds, and 0537. If I wanted to add in another new poem, I'd forgotten I read one. I've forgotten I read all this, so I just click in there, and there we have, there's the missing one. I don't want it twice, so I'll click on this one as black, and this one is registered as well. Okay. So that's the readings. Let's have a look at competitions while we're here. So here's competitions, here's poems I've currently submitted to competitions, and here's one to the Troubadour International Poetry Prize on Wednesday 18th of November. I submit, it's committed until then, and I entered it on the 4th of October, and there are 2 poems here, Consequence of Glass and These Morning Hills. Quick zip through what I've submitted. This is the Poetry Box Halloween Poetry Annual Award, and we've got Just Blank Them, River Marigolds, and 537. Okay, those are current entries I've got. Let's look at the reports of poems I've submitted to competitions. So I can go in here, go reports. Here I want to look at use. So usage reporting options, and I want to look at entries, and I want to look at all of them. I'm quite happy to have them sorted alphabetically, ordered ascendingly, and let's generate a report. Here we are. If I just zoom this report a little, you'll be able to see we've made 17 competition entries, various competitions, and there are the poems, and see here are the poems, here are some comments and the titles of the competitions. So that gives you a flavour of SecretaryBird, some of the kinds of things you can do. All it remains now is to go back to the main menu and shut things down. But before I do that, I want to show you something very important, which is the kind of help you can expect, and also show you quickly a nice thing to change the background interface. There we are. So here's the support. It's a full amount of support, all kinds of things here, a host of stuff. But more importantly, support is context sensitive, and what that means is if you're on a form like this one, for example, or any other form, you'll notice there's a help button. Click on that and you get help on the form you're on, straight to it. It tells you all about it. In fact, this one you've got to go to another form which gives you all the details where it's explained. So if I click on this hyperlink here, you'll see this is all about work in progress and all the details on how to use the form. So let me shut this down and exit. Close the form, close the help down first of all, and exit, and we're done.